couple of months ago, one of my friends asked if I wanted to go on a backpacking trip together. After looking at a few different places, we decided on a mountainous region in the north of Spain called Picos de Europa. From the research we did, we already knew this wasn't going to be an easy hike. Technical terrain, lots of scrambling, and long days. I had a feeling it would be my hardest trek yet. It was also the first backpacking trip for both of my friends. The plan was to hike a modified version of the Anillo de Picos over 5 days. But once we got into the mountains, a heat wave, limited water, and much tougher terrain than expected forced us to change our plans. This is how our adventure in Picos de Europa turned out. After landing in Santander and spending the night there, we drove about an hour and a half to Fuente. From there, a 30-second cable ride took us straight into the heart of Picos de Europa. From the top station, we hit the trail right away. The hike starts off easy, wide paths, barely any elevation, and incredible views in every direction. At this point, we had no idea what was waiting for us. So this section is pretty steep. We have an elevation of 1,100 meters over a distance of 3 kilometers. And it is 5:16 p.m. So we don't really have a lot of time before the sun sets. After the final few meters using the fixed rope, we finally reached camp. We were still full of adrenaline, so we weren't even hungry. We pitched the tent and went straight to bed. The next morning, a new adventure awaited. So the first 3 hours of the climb, it was not technical, it was very demanding. There was not one flat part. It was all uphill, which we knew, so we knew what we were getting into. But for the second part, which took almost 2 hours to gain an elevation of around 300 meters, and that was the part that we were not really well informed about and we kind of underestimated. I think I spent about 60 to 70% of those last 2 hours scrambling on my hands and feet to climb every meter. But I'm happy that we are all safe. We got to our camping spot, which is right here, so our tents are over right there, around 11 o'clock. So we started the climb at around 5, we got here around 11, and after we got here, in I think like 10-15 minutes, it got pitch dark. So we made it just on time. We did already take out our headlamps and even turned them on because it was already getting pretty dark, but yeah, after 10 minutes that we got here, it got pitch dark. It is 6:40 right now. I think we already knew that this first day was going to be the most challenging day. So I think for the next day we'll just have fun and not really risk our lives doing anything. And on that note, there's a beautiful sunrise. Sorry. Day 2 was supposed to be our biggest day. The goal was to reach Jus de los Cabrones, a 26-kilometer hike with more than 2,000 meters of elevation gain and another 2,000 meters back down. As if that wasn't enough, it was also one of the hottest days of the heatwave. It got up to around 35 degrees, and for long sections of the trail there wasn't any shade at all.
Okay guys, for the future... hoe zou ik dat zeggen?
Bro, deze komt erin als blooper.
Dat komt erin. Saaf. Als jullie ooit een trip gaan boeken... Als jullie ooit een trip gaan boeken bij Ranjit Gurung, niet doen. Die guy gaat jullie brengen naar gevaarlijke plekken.
Laat de reviews zien, bro. Laat de volgende reviews zien.
Dit zijn de views. We zijn gisteren bijna gestorven door deze guy.
We hebben overleefd, bro.
Ja, niet denk ik. We
hebben allemaal een verhaaltje.
Dat is waar, dat is waar. Ja, iedereen boek jullie trip bij ranjitgurung.com.
In the end, we didn't make it to Jus de los Cabrones. We decided to call it a day and spent the night at Refugio de la Terranosa instead. And honestly, I think that's one of the most important things about hiking, being flexible. It's easy to get caught up in following an itinerary, but the mountain doesn't care about your plans. You're out here to get away from deadlines and the rush of everyday life, not to create new ones. Sometimes the best decision isn't pushing on, it's adjusting your plans, enjoying the journey for what it is, and just being free. After spending the night at Refugio Terranosa, we continued towards Naranjo de Bulnes, or Pico Ureu, one of the most iconic peaks in the Picos de Europa. It's famous for its massive limestone walls, and on any given day you can spot climbers making their way up the vertical face. Instead of taking the usual route, we decided to follow a small detour that was recommended by the host of the refuge. It was a bit longer, but it let us explore a quieter part of the park and see a different side of these mountains.
Smile with a gun.
We reached Ureu just in time. About 10 minutes before we got there, it started raining, and by the time we found a place to camp, it was absolutely pouring. I made the mistake of pitching my tent right away, while one of my friends told me to just wait until the shower passed before setting up our tent. Looking back, I definitely should have listened, because only 15 minutes later, the rain had completely stopped. Instead, I ended up with a soaking wet tent before the night had even begun, and that turned out to be just the start of it. Throughout the night, a storm rolled in with really strong winds, shaking the tent for hours and making it pretty hard to get a good night's sleep.
Niet goed komen, man.
Bro, ga fucking stormen.
Een overleving is dus. Wat ben je aan het filmen? Wat is het?
Alles. Ik ben gewoon aan het filmen. Oei joh.
Nee, ik denk niet dat dat mag.
Nee. Oei joh.
The original plan for today was to hike from Ureu to Cabana Veronica, but after a night of heavy winds, the forecast was calling for even stronger winds and intense afternoon storms. Then, along the trail, we came across a warning sign saying this section wasn't recommended unless you were a very experienced mountaineer. Combined with the weather and the fact that we still had to make it back to Fuente de the next day, turning back was the smartest choice. So instead of pushing on, we took a different route back to Refugio Terranosa. Not long after we arrived, the rain started pouring down. It confirmed that we had made the right decision. We found a campsite just below the refuge, pitched our tents, and spent one last night in the mountains. Sometimes the best adventure isn't sticking to the original plan, it's knowing when to change it. We woke up to one last beautiful sunrise. Everything was quiet, peaceful, and after the storms of the previous night, it felt like the perfect way to end the trip. From here, we made our way back to Fuente de. The trail was much more gradual than the days before, giving us one last chance to simply enjoy the incredible scenery before saying goodbye to the Picos de Europa.